Okay, this is my setup. Here's the screen, iPad. So I'm going to connect the USB lead to a camera adapter for the iPad, plug it into the iPad. And you'll see the power comes on because it's now being powered from the iPad. And if I open BS16i on the iPad, and if I just maybe put that there, jam it there, it fit. This is my test board. So you see that's green, so that's showing that it's connected. I've got on channel 1 I've got a low G steel melody, but it'll pitch shift it down to whatever MIDI value is sent out to it. And then on channel 2 I've got the same, but you have this whole range of strings you can choose from. So if I have both the volumes of these up high, all the other channel volumes are low, like that. Now you'll see it went through a startup routine which you probably missed, so I'm going to actually film that again for you. Just bring the camera in and move it down a bit. Hang on. Right, I'll just repower this up so you can see it start up. So you get a little animated relic from the DigiGurdy startup. It's now looking for a crank. If you notice on this test board there's no crank at the moment, so it said there's no crank present. It gives you the version number of everything. It then says crank on. So when it says crank on, I'm just going to take this, move this up again. There we are, just come back a bit. When it says crank on, you've got the choice. You either turn the crank, or if you can't be bothered to turn the crank, you can actually press this black gaming button here, which will just turn on the open string. Now you can hear it, but it's not very loud. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to connect a little speaker, battery powered speaker here, to the headphone socket of the iPad. Get a little bit more volume. This is a really cheap speaker. Right. Okay, so now we'll try again. So they're the open strings. Now if you look at the display, well, I'll press the switches first. So when I let go of the key, if you like, you hear the open string. If I press multiple keys, only the highest one will play. So if I press all three here, so basically that's in automatic cranking mode. Alright, so if I turn down channel, so this is just channel 2, you see how channel 1 is an octave above channel 2? I don't know how well this is recording, but you can hear it's very low. If I turn that down, turn channel 1 up, channel 1 is the octave above. And the other thing I need to show you is the display. It gets very confusing, I find, which channel's which and which one's an octave above the other. So I've tried to help you. So when we start playing, if you look at the display, it's saying channel 2 is A1 on the kind of that MIDI notation scale, and it's the open string. Channel 2 is A2, open string. If I just press a key at random there, okay, shows you what notes being played without any ambiguity whatsoever. It's probably more important than anything else, is to know that. Now the other thing you can do that I've added, this is a MIDI 5-pin DIN MIDI out socket. Into it I've plugged a WIDI master, which is like a Bluetooth transmitter with low latency for MIDI. So if I unplug the iPad and just temporarily I power this by plugging it into my laptop, you'll now see that the iPad is not plugged into anything at all. So can we connect by Bluetooth? Well, you can see in fact it has connected. You can see it says there WIDI Master Bluetooth. So we should get some sound out of this even though nothing's physically connected. So we've gone through the startup menu. Crank on, so press the button. Right, and it still works. So you may ask, what's the point of that? Well, the point of that is you can put a battery pack into your Organistrum. Easiest way to do that is to use a mobile phone battery bank with a USB gadget plugged into it, and I can give you a link to that. You can buy them, called power bank. It's called a keeper honor or something. Basically it stops it turning off when it thinks your mobile phone is fully charged, because obviously you want the mobile phone power bank to keep going, so you can trick it into staying on. And I can tell you where to buy those. It just looks like a USB dongle. So you would plug the power bank into the dongle, and your USB lead that comes out of your Organistrum, it actually connects to this computer, into the dongle, and then the whole thing's powered. It's transmitting through Bluetooth. It's self-contained. There's no wires then connecting it to your laptop or iPad or whatever you're using as your audio kind of workstation. So you can, if you're on stage or something, it's wire free. So that's why I've added that. And you can also use it as a standard MIDI, old school MIDI connection. It's got the 5 pins and it's configured as to meet the standard. So I could send this to you as it is. But what I'm going to do is I need to just make some kind of crank system for you. It won't have a buzz like DigiGurdy does. You'll just turn the crank and the open string will start to sound. You stop cranking, it'll stop, which is kind of all you need really, I assume. So I'd like to know your thoughts. I mean, if you're okay with that, I think that's more what you need, because basically you add power, it comes on and it just works, which is what you need. Whereas before, kind of forcing the DigiGurdy down and down into a weird tuning, then saving that to memory, it just seemed a bit clunky, when really you just want something that's just works out the box, basically. So that's where I'm at. So in terms of delays, the only thing you've got is I'm just waiting for the an encoder system to arrive for the crank. And then it's pretty much ready to send to you to build into your wonderful piece of craftsmanship. And I'll be interested to see how it turns out. The other thing about this is I can email you software updates, and there's a procedure for loading new software onto this that's not too complex. So if you want an extra feature or you find something you don't like, I can actually send you a code update without you having to send me the whole Organistrum back in the post, which makes life a lot easier.